Weeks ago, I hosted Freedom Friday, and it was a little bit of a last minute thing, kind of free form. I started talking about some of the stuff that I've been learning with AI and sharing some tips how you can use it to grow your business and to reduce the time requirements of your business, so you can get some of that time back for your personal life or to do more if you want. And before that, I thought I had been doing some cool stuff with AI, but I've been working for a while with Nick Krim, and he developed a certification course for AI. And let me tell you, when I took it, my mind was blown. I just learned that I was really just scratching the surface of it. And I've been working with Nick a while and some other stuff too. But out of all the people I've ever trained with, coached with, anything, he is consistent at under promising and over delivering. I was just like blows my mind with all he does. So without too much further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Nick Krim, my friend and coach in all things AI. And hope you brought pen and paper and are prepared to take some notes, because it's going to be awesome.
Let's go. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for having me on here. And guys, let's get some cameras on. I see like 25% of the cameras on right here. Let's go for about 50. I'll be happy with 50. But even what we're going to be covering here today, guys, like what we're going to be covering with AI, it's still scratching the surface. There's literally so much that is coming out with this stuff. I don't care if anybody says they're the biggest expert. There's still literally so much that people can be doing with this. And that's a little bit of the rabbit hole that we'll talk about too. It's because there's so many different platforms, so many different things that you can use for AI. What are you actually going to use? What are you actually going to implement that really matters, right? It's just like leads that are out there. There's a million different lead sources that you can use. The one that you focus on and use the most is the one that's going to work best for you. Well, let's do this. Hey, I'm not going to get started until we get at least 50% cameras on. Let's get some more on here. Come on, guys. This is a real estate call. We're all looking pretty, right? Guys, let's go. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and maybe share my screen. So whoever's host, could I share my screen here?
Yeah, let me see.
All right.
He's good to go.
Should be good. All right. Oh, I'm still not. Oh, awkward. Here we go. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to have a couple slides for us here today, go over some of the different things that we are working with. All right, guys, time to get informed about artificial intelligence in your real estate business. I'm going to do my best to make sure it kind of stays within the real estate parameters here with you guys. Just a little bit about us. For those of you who don't know who I am, my brother and I started our own company about 4 years ago, and we built our company into 13 countries in all 50 states using organic video content. A lot of everything we were doing, we had to manually do it, right? We would have to either ourselves do it or we hired an entire staff to do it. In the last 5.5 months, we've been able to cut our staff by over 50%, all while increasing the amount of content and the amount of revenue and things that we're bringing in. And I'll tell you what, it's been a whirlwind with everything AI. I'm sure with you guys too. It's who here has seen more ads for like AI companies, AI tech, AI prompts that are coming out than ever. Number one, because it just became public about 5.5 months ago. But even more so, the biggest thing that I'm seeing, CRMs. Guys, put in the chat if you've seen more CRMs pop up in your ads more than ever these last couple months. And I believe there's a reason for that. I think the reason is CRMs are starting to get that fear that, holy crap, we are going to be replaced. Well, if they're not adapting to this AI, CRMs in a lot of these places are going to be replaced by the new technology coming in. And then from basement to beach house in the last 4 years, this is we started our company. We sold everything we had, moved back into our parents' house, moved into the basement. Literally, I sold the car that I had at the time to start our own business 4 years ago. And then just in 4 years, we went through a lot of different phases. One of them, my man, Chris, actually flew out to our content house in Orlando, or flew out to our content house here in Orlando when we were there. We had a 7-bedroom house. We lived in 3 of them, and the rest of it was just a giant video studio. So we had like different sets in different rooms. People would fly over the country just to learn about how to utilize their content, how to utilize and leverage our staff on the back end.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll love the place in Sarasota now. We're right on the water over here. But, a lot of it was we had an entire video editing team on the back end, entire copywriting team on the back end. And now with the AI and things coming in, we were able to virtually let go of almost everybody because AI is it does everything for us. So who this is for, agents want to be a part of the future of AI so you can take over market share. People want to leverage AI. And at the end of the day, what this is going to do is I see it as being very similar to the agents. And look, guys, I was in grade school when this one happened, but I did my research on it, right? The agents who adapted AI, who adapted the internet and got websites right away, they did pretty well. The agents who adapted social media and inserted that into their business, and the first to do it, were able to coin themselves as that way. I see AI as being very similar to those. It is going to change the world that we're in. It already has been integrated into our lives. But now the way that we do real estate business, and even more so, it's really the time that you'll be able to save is going to be dramatic. Barriers. Man, guys, this is one of the ultimate shiny objects. You're going to see like puzzle pieces all over. And what I mean by that, here's a way you can use AI. Here's another way you can use AI. Here's another way you can use AI. Here's another way. Here's a chatbot that you can use. Here's this. It's the ultimate shiny object syndrome, guys. You can fall down the rabbit hole. And what I'm talking about is like Alice in Wonderland when she falls down that rabbit hole where it just keeps going and going and going. Has anybody here already had sleepless nights because of AI? We were just on there for freaking hours. And then you were like, holy crap, the sun's coming up. Guys, AI, there's just so much that you can do with it. I see it as, it could be the biggest detriment to your business too. I just want to be very clear on that. Because you can spend so much time, energy, and effort on something and then figure out like, holy shit, I didn't actually make any money or figure out how to use it for my real estate business. So it can be really difficult from that aspect as well. We're going to cover a little bit here. The history of AI, what the AI real estate revolution truly is, and then some tools for your business here. So I think it's just important to understand the history of it too. Guys, AI has been around for 70 years. 70 years, that's 70, not 17, not 17 days that some of us think it's been around. It has been around for 70 years. The only difference now is our access to it. It became public access in November. It's been around for 70 years. So this notion that, well, look, AI, like the world's going to end because of AI. Look, it's been around for 70 years. And chances are the people who had money and power are the ones who had access to it, right? Private companies. If it was going to end the world, it probably would have already done it by now. So let's just get that out of the way. On top of this too, look at the biggest companies, like the ones that have been utilizing it. How do you think they've been able to grow so fast, so much? Their marketing efforts they're in front of you all the time. We talk about something in the coaching group that I do, talk about turning the lights on. Let me ask, I'm going to ask somebody here in this group. Let me ask Brian. Brian, damn it, I can't. Galati. Brian. Is that how do you say your last name?
Gijotti.
Damn, I would have never got that. All right. Brian, let me ask you this. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Yes.
I felt like you might have been to Vegas. So in Vegas, are the lights ever off there?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, guys. Guys, Vegas, the lights are never off. Their lights are never off in their business. In their perspective field, they were one of the most big, like the partying field. They're probably one of the biggest ones in the world. One of the biggest ones in the world. Lights are never off. You look at Nike, their branding never stops. Their marketing never stops. Amazon, their marketing never stops. Some of these companies have access to these tools, be able to generate a lot of content, a lot of marketing, so their lights never go off. Now in our real estate business, we have the ability to do the same thing. So with this as well, so just some of the different ways that people are using AI right now, how it's already been integrated into our lives. Netflix suggestions. You watch 5 shows. Because you watch these shows, here are 50 other shows that you're going to like. Guys, that's AI. Does anybody here have a Roomba? You know those Roombas that go around and clean your house without you doing anything? You just flip the switch on. Guys, those Roombas are AI. This was the biggest thing for me. Spell check on your computer and your smartphone. You know that red squiggly line? That red squiggly line that pops up, you misspelled the word. Did you mean this? Guys, that is AI. AI is already integrated into our lives. It's already, Siri, Alexa, I feel like we all kind of knew that one, right? It's the freaking, you talk to it and it talks back to you, like that's AI. But it's already integrated into our lives. So again, there's this other notion that like, oh, is this really going to change business? Is like, how much is it going to actually work? Is this coming and going? Guys, it is not coming and going. It's already integrated into our lives. The only difference is our access to it. And again, just the progression of technology. Internet changed real estate, social media changed real estate, AI is the next one up. It is the next one up. You look at some of the companies out there, they're spending billions on this. And I thought this was just interesting. I know somebody was talking about this before. Just Google, Microsoft Edge, and I think somebody put it in the chat too. I think it was Bard. Bard is what like Google's coming out with, and there's a race. People are spending, look at the biggest companies in the world, they are spending billions of dollars to get ahead of this. And I just thought this was interesting. This was a topic we were talking about earlier. Google versus Microsoft Edge and how Microsoft owns ChatGPT. If you guys didn't know, now you know. Microsoft owns that side of it. What we're starting to see is ChatGPT is the fastest growing app in history. In history, fastest growing app. And I'll tell you what, with that being said, Google is now starting to get scared. For the first time ever, I saw Google running ads on Facebook just for people to go to Google. I'm like, man, Google's whole platform is people pay them for ads. Google is now running ads on Facebook just for people to go there and Google things. I thought that was insane. Here's what it's telling me. Google is a little bit scared right now. Yeah, they're coming out with their own things, but ChatGPT was first to market. And a lot of times the first to market, first to that everybody uses wins. It's like Uber and Lyft. Lyft will never overtake Uber, guys. It just won't. Uber was first to market, first to get out there and get a bunch of people using it. Guys, more people are going to ChatGPT to look things up now than Google. And here's what happened. I'm not saying Google's going to fail, but Google is being dethroned right in front of our eyes. Why am I bringing this up? How does it apply to real estate? Guys, with AI, a solo agent can now outmarket the biggest teams in different areas. If the big team doesn't not transfer everything and start using AI, I don't care. A solo agent can now outmarket a team with 5 video editors, 5 copywriters, 5 marketing directors. It doesn't matter. AI is a powerful tool. And if people don't get on the bandwagon and start running their marketing, running their business with it, man, I'll tell you what, the reason why those big teams have been in front of people for so long, a big part of it is their marketing departments. They are in front of people more. So going through this, the AI real estate revolution is here. And it's not about the agents, guys. It's about the homeowners. The AI real estate revolution is about the homeowners and how it is perceived to them. Because look, right now, the message around AI is not too hot. Let's just face it. You go on 60 Minutes, you see these different places. They're talking about the world ending. They're talking about different things happening. It's almost like a little scare tactic that's going on right now. And if we're presenting ourselves as, hey, we're using AI to replace all our communication, guys, the homeowners aren't going to like that. And even if you are replacing it to do all your communication, we got to go about it the right way. We aren't too big to be replaced by AI in a lot of different ways as real estate agents. It's about how are you using AI to take some of the mundane tasks away from you so you can communicate more with agents. We have a program where we talk about, we believe AI is here so for us to communicate more with our clients and spend less time behind a computer. Because AI works 125,000 times faster than the human brain. Creating all your marketing, creating all your content, creating all your posts, that should be AI. The communication you have with your client, this should allow you to communicate more with your client. Don't use it to replace your communication with clients. Yes, have it replace your marketing, content creation, videos aspects, but don't lose that human element with this. That's one of the most important, impactful things in the real estate process. So don't use it to replace all of your communication. Use it to replace the marketing aspects. Guys, the real estate revolution, it's about the homeowner, how they perceive it. If you replace yourself with AI, I mean, when are you going to start just replacing real estate agents with AI? It's a dangerous game. So here we go. I just want to put a warning on this. Guys, I'm going to share with you guys some of the tools and some of the things that we're currently using on the back end, what my team has been using the last 5.5 months. I just want to let you guys know this could be the greatest danger to your business or the biggest asset, because this can result in big rabbit holes, jumping down it, trying to figure out all these platforms. And I just want you guys to know it is a tool, not a toy. Can you play around with AI? Yeah, but nobody here got into the business to play with toys, right? We came here to make money and to use things to grow our business. It is a tool, not a toy. They're only as good as the person using it. Let me ask Victor. Victor, let me ask you this, Victor. If you ask ChatGPT or any of these platforms a dumbass question, what kind of answer do you think you're going to get?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, dumbass answer. There you go. You're going to get a bad answer. Guys, just because you ask these platforms or they do things for you doesn't mean that it's actually good. They're basically a huge vault of information that is learning. And look, if you ask somebody a dumb question, they're going to give you a dumb answer. They're pulling answers from the internet and all these different places. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of this screen or just take a picture, I'm not going to cover all of these. And actually, I got to update this because we're not using Midjourney anymore. It is, you got to be like a prompt engineer to use Midjourney. We're using a different tool, which we'll cover. But these are the different ones that we've been using. And we just wanted to kind of format this to what the tool is, the description of the tool, the capabilities of it, and then the application to real estate. The different ways you can use it. Again, I'm not going to cover every single one of these. We're just going to highlight a few of these. And so you guys know at the end, we'll take questions and anything that you guys got too. All right, here we go. ChatGPT. Guys, put in the chat, how many people here are using ChatGPT? I just want to kind of gauge the audience of where we're at. It's really simple just to kind of talk about it. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be doing it. ChatGPT, there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. The biggest one is just copywriting and what you can do for your content. I thought this was interesting. It just passed the law exam in the US. I'm not saying use it to write your contracts. I know we have it in here. Like, if you're going to use that, you still have to read through your contracts. You still have to make sure you go through and do that. Don't just take it as, oh, ChatGPT is smart. I can write my contracts. Look, it is smart, but don't just rely on the information that's there and say that's the best thing. Still read through it. Here's one of the biggest things that I had, that my team and I, that we learned through this. The first is we all have to individually train our ChatGPTs to do what we want it to do. What that means is I train my ChatGPT to speak to agents and to speak to different people. Just because I trained mine doesn't mean that yours is trained as well. So we have to first individually train it who we're speaking to. So in that process, the first thing we have to do is clearly identify who our target audience is. Who are we asking ChatGPT to speak to? Right? So when we're saying that, don't just put buyers. Write me a Facebook post for, I see all these freaking stupid prompts out there. I'm sorry, a lot of them are stupid. Where it's just, write me a Facebook post for buyers. Oh my gosh, you wrote me 10 Facebook posts. Yeah, and they suck. Right? The reality is we have to be super hyper specific with who we wanted to speak to. And there's something called a prompt chain, making sure that you put it into chains. What that means is asking it multiple questions to get the result that you want. For example, if you guys are looking to work with luxury home buyers, people are looking for luxury homes on the coast, you want to first ask it, Jasper, hey, I can write like Joe Rogan, right? Yeah, and then that is a good point. Like all these different platforms, you could ask it to write like Joe Rogan. You could ask it to write like Dan Kennedy, one of my favorite marketing guys out there. You're going to ask it to write like all these different people, and it's cool. It puts it in the writing styles. And I think we'll talk about that. That's a little bit more high level for some people on here. But so here's what I would recommend. The first thing you have to do is identify who you want it to speak to. Be very hyper specific. And then when you do that, ask it, what are the goals of a new home buyer, or a person looking for a luxury home? What are the goals? What are the fears? What are the motivations? First, identify that so you can start getting some of the emotional ties to it. All right. So first, luxury home buyer. Luxury, what are the goals of a luxury home buyer? What are the fears of a luxury home buyer? What are the motivations of a luxury home buyer? Now it's partially trained to speak to a luxury home buyer. Then after you train it to speak to them, now you can start asking it to write Facebook posts using the fears, right? Like Joe Rogan, use the fears of a luxury home buyer. Why? Because you trained it to speak to the luxury home buyer. Don't just go in there and ask it to write to a seller. Guys, if you just ask it to write to a seller, does anybody here? I'm not gonna ask if you use them because I think these companies are just terrible. The ones that would do like, we're going to give you 30 days of content. And then the content posts are just so bad because it's like, here are 3 things you need to do if you're selling a home. That doesn't move people because people are sold on emotion and justify with logic. I run into that. All right. So we had a good question here. Riches are in the niches. Absolutely. How do you stop it from just spitting out answers and rather sit and listen and be trained? Charlie, do you want to unmute and ask that question or elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes I'll ask it, hey, I want to write a blog post, or I want an outline or rough draft of a blog post about this, that, and the other. Let me tell you about that, is what I'll put in the prompt. And then it'll just like, here's a blog post. And it's like, I haven't giving you any information on what I'm trying to accomplish, except the topic.
Yeah. So this is about getting a prompt chain, right? So first you
Yeah.
have to like, here's what we do. We say, here, I'm going to give you information on this topic. Just acknowledge. I just tell it, just acknowledge. And it's like, okay. And then I insert it into it. So if you're looking to write a blog post, here's what I would do. Who is the audience? Do you have like, so in your example, do you have like a copy and paste thing that you're trying to duplicate and just have it right for it? Or are you trying to just take your target audience? Like, what's your goal with it?
I want to attract military buyers in my area. So
Right.
I'm creating posts kind of about that.
Here's what you would do. First, you would create, hey, tell me, I would ask you, like, what are the fears of a military home buyer looking to move into this area? What are the goals of a military home buyer looking to move into this area? What are the motivations of a military home person looking to move in this area? Now you trained it, the fears, goals, and motivations of a military home buyer. Now write me a post using the fears and motivations. Now write me a Facebook post using the fears and motivations that's intriguing. Like, and then you can use emotions. That's intriguing. That writes like this person. But first train it. That's a chain, right? Fears, goals, motivations. Now it knows the fears, goals, and motivations and can write a better post for you. Then write it to use a blog post using the fears, goals, and motivations. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like, and look, like that's just like, that ICP is still a little bit, I guess you could say surface level. I mean, one of my favorite ones, I'll just give you guys one of my favorite ones. What's the internal dialogue of a veteran home buyer looking to move into my area? Like figuring out the internal dialogue, figuring out the goals, fears, motivations. Because on social media, a lot of times people are sold on emotion and justify with logic. If we keep it surface level, we'll never really move people in our content, and it's garbage in, garbage out. First, identify fears, goals, motivations. And you can get a little deeper into it, but that's like the 3 that I would start with. Once you have that, then you can ask it to write, give me 5 Facebook posts that are engaging, that are using the right copywriting. Like there's a lot of different prompts you can use from there to customize it. But first train it to speak to that individual.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, so ChatGPT doesn't have like it's only 2021. I think 2021, 2022 or beyond. But this tool right here, you could turn web access on and off. It's free to integrate into it. I'm not going to go too much into this. But if you want web access of more current information, this is just something that you can add to it to get more information there. All right, Descript. Did anybody hear? I have a feeling Brian talking about Joe Rogan might have heard this one. Joe Rogan had an entire podcast that wasn't even his voice. It was his voice, but it wasn't even him. Guys, this is a tool where you can train your you can train your AI with your voice to create content. Literally, it's 30 minutes. You have to speak into this thing for 30 minutes, and boom, it has your voice. And you can just insert scripts into it, and it's your voice into it. You can literally have an entire podcast without ever even shooting a video or being on a podcast. This is great if you want to do that. Also, I see it as big if you just want to do voiceovers for your videos. You want to do a market update. You have your voiceover over a video of just going over your area. Descript is a cool tool if you want to use it for voice. I like this one a lot, Synthesia. This one, you can get your personal AI assistant with it. How? Because now, actually, you know what? I'll show you guys an example of what we did with this one. And I'll go back to it so you guys can take a picture. Here we go.
Appliances.
Hold on a second. So this one, you can just insert your whatever you want it to say into this. It's a guy that pops up, guy, girl. You pick your avatar. And the way we see agents that are using this with us, they create listing videos, take all the pictures from a listing, have it go in the background, and you just insert the listing description.
Welcome to your new home, located in the heart of Turtle Rock, Pomerantz. Are you ready to live the Florida lifestyle to the fullest? Let's step inside and see what this superbly renovated 4-bedroom, 3-bath plus office home has to offer. As we enter, you'll notice the open floor plan, high ceilings, and natural light that welcomes you. The interior boasts a mix of tile and vinyl flooring.
So that's just an example. I won't go too far into it. Brian, which one were you saying is going to become self-aware? I'm really interested in that one. Are you saying Descript or Synthesia?
Synthesia, man. Synthesia is scary. Like, it's scary.
A lot of this is kind of scary. I'm not going to lie. Like the things that I can do, it could literally take your voice, it could take a likeness of you, and you could have a whole video that looks like you, sounds like you, and all of a sudden yeah, it is getting to that point. But look, until then, let's utilize it. But yeah, I'm with you. But Synthesia is you can create like you can pick your avatar, and then right there you create a whole listing video with just the pictures without you actually shooting the video. This one is no longer coming soon. It is out. So like I said, was anybody here using Midjourney? I'm just curious if anybody here was using Midjourney. Because that was like the image one that was coming out. It was hot for a while. But I'll tell you what, Midjourney, you got to be like a prompt engineer. You could be like you have to be like a prompt engineer to use Midjourney. Have like a lot of different prompts in there. This tool, Microsoft Designer, you just insert the headline or of something a picture that you want, and it spits it out for you. You could take a picture that you have, for example, take a picture of your listing and say, add 5 beds, 2 baths, and something else over this picture. It's super simple to use. I like it because it's just the simplicity of it. If you're looking to add a picture to your post, literally just take the headline of your post, insert it into this tool, and it gives you 10 or 15 different options of what you can do. I'm gonna stop on this one. So, all right, here, last question I'm gonna ask. Guys, put in the chat, are you guys currently creating reels? Are you guys creating reels, creating shorts, or anything along those lines? Because I'll tell you what, this next tool literally freaking changed what we were doing on this. We used to have somebody on the back end before AI. Somebody at our company his entire job was a clip pooler. His job was from 2 minutes, 2 seconds to 2 minutes, 53 seconds, pull it. And then it will go to the next person on our team. That person would just chop the video. Then it will go to the next person on our team. He was a copywriter. He would write the description, and then he would write a headline. This next tool literally you can create reels in minutes. You can take a 40-minute video. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. You can take a 40-minute video, insert it into this tool, and it chops it up, gives you subtitles, gives you a written description, gives you the headline, and it even gives you an engagement score for what you can do better. Well, for what you could do better. It is insane how you can do that. So literally, you just take a video that you have, insert it into the tool, chops it up, put subtitles on it, gives you a description, gives you a headline, and it even gives you an engagement score on what you could do better to make it more engaging. This tool has saved us countless literally hours of work, thousands of dollars a month on people that were paying to just do these simple, mundane jobs. Now is done just through this tool here. It is crazy what this one can do. Is there a way to add music or trending sounds? Not trending sounds or music. You'd have to take it to the platform and then add the trending sounds or music to it. Good question, Meg. So guys, with all these things, here's the reality that we're going to be living in. You're either going to create massive amounts of content and marketing, or you will watch somebody else do it. Because I promise you this, if you're not doing it, somebody else out there will. As far as creating massive amounts of content and creating massive amounts of marketing. You will either differentiate yourself from everybody else or die watching everybody do it. It will either become your biggest asset in your business or your biggest liability. And I'm saying that because it can become an asset and a tool if you use them the right way and actually power your business using it, or it could become a liability of just countless hours spent on the back end and nothing new changes. You'll either take over or stay the same. Look, there's a lot of great things about being a real estate agent, getting in front of people, talking to people. Those things aren't going away. But what AI can allow you to do is have an entire marketing division on the back end, entire email campaigns, content strategy, video scripts, everything done for pennies on the dollar to allow you to get in front of more people and have better communication. Right now, what I'm seeing, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. That's all I got on the slides. Right now, what I'm seeing is there's going to be a gap that is going to be filled by somebody of who is going to be the first AI agent in your area utilizing these tools to literally take over the marketing. That gap will be filled by somebody, whether it's you or not. It's not waiting for any individual. It will be filled by somebody. Don't use it to replace your communication one-to-one with clients. Use it to replace all of your marketing, all of your social media content, all of the video scripts that you have. And it can do it like that. At the end of the day, I'll tell you what, from working with a lot of agents, one of the hardest things that I've worked with agents on, the reason they would fly out and work with us is because they'd have to go from a sales and a human connection to a content creator mind like that. at the end of the day. You spend all day actually working with people. And at the end of the day, you have to get behind a computer, write listing descriptions, write your video scripts, write your content. And it's literally completely 180 in your brain. With this, it can almost take that whole side and get it done in minutes every single day. Guys, if you don't take over your marketplace, marketing better than anybody else, social media, emails, somebody else will. That is a fact. Somebody else will figure it out and be able to take over the marketplace. I don't care how big the team is. If you have yourself or even just one $5 an hour VA that can run all of this for you, you will literally be able to take over the market and take over everybody's mind share. What we always say is once you control the mind share, you control the market share. When people think of real estate agent, they think of you. That's what winning looks like. That's what winning looks like. Guys, I wanted to save a good amount of time here. So, Chris, how much time do we technically have here, or how long do these usually last?
We try to be done by 10, but if you want to go over a little bit, as long as people have time.
Yeah, I think a lot of
we're not fixed at 10, but that's kind of our target.
Cool. So, I know a lot of people here were already kind of utilizing these tools. So I just want to kind of open it up, open discussion about what you guys saw here today or what else that you guys can do. We got all day for this secret sauce. Dude, here's the reality, guys. Somebody asked me that in the last call. Like, what's the secret sauce of all of this? Here's the reality. The big secret sauce is understanding that once you identify your ideal client, first you have to make sure that your content is going to the right person. If you're for everybody, you're for nobody. Here's a great example. Taylor Swift, man, T Swizzle just came down to Florida, right? Look, I'm a Taylor Swift fan, so like don't take what I'm about to say as not a good thing. Her tickets are like $900 to go to her show, right? She killed it in Tampa. There you go. Like $900 to go to her show. It's insane. But here's the reality. People pay that money to go listen to her sing about her ex-boyfriends. Am I wrong? That's pretty much what she does on stage. I'm not hating. I like her songs too. Our song, like I like her shit too, guys. But the reality is, imagine if you paid $900 to go to her concert and then she started doing like heavy metal and rock. People would be pissed off and be like, why did I buy tickets? Why am I here? Here's the reality. Think of your content. There's a difference between a crowd and an audience. Most people have crowds on their social media because they talk about this, then they talk about that, and they talk about this, and they talk about real estate, and they talk about this, and it's just scattered. One of the best things that you could do for your marketing is just identify 3 ideal client profiles. Who are you wanting to do business with? If you are for everybody, you are for nobody. First, identify your 3 ideal client profiles, and then just blow up your timelines and blow up your emails with it. Spam is not identified as how much you send. It is identified by the content that you send. What do I mean by that? I can receive 1 email from a company a year, and it's spam. If I receive 10 emails from somebody, and every one of those 10 are just fire, and I love them, and they're helping my business, that's not spam. Spam is not identified by the amount. It is identified by what you said. With ChatGPT and these platforms, first, the most important thing is identifying who you are speaking to. Train it. What are the goals, fears, motivations, internal dialogue? What will happen if they don't get there? What will happen if a luxury home buyer doesn't be able to get into their home? What will happen if a luxury home seller doesn't be able to sell their home? What will happen? And then train it to speak to them. And then blast the secret sauce is just filling up your timeline and people's emails with your target audience information. The secret sauce isn't the one tool that'll save you all this time. It's what are you going to do with that tool? Are you going to post? Are you going to choose to take over people's timelines? Because here's the reality. You have 2 options. People will either unsubscribe or have no idea who the fuck you are. 2 options. They will either unsubscribe because they're like, oh, I'm getting so much content and this isn't for me. Or if you don't send out any content, they just have no idea who you even are. Why do you think referrals are being lost? Why do you think friends, family, and people on your timeline are working with other agents? Because they don't even know you're a real estate agent. Take over timelines. Don't be afraid to take over timelines. Why? Because the more you post just about the exact topic in different ways, the fears, goals, motivations of this individual, you will attract that individual and detract everybody else. But I'll tell you what, if you're for everybody, you're for nobody. The reason most people's content doesn't work is because it doesn't speak to anybody. The secret sauce is you got to nail your target audience and just blast it. nail who you are speaking to, and then just get in front of them more than anybody else. Most marketing companies, the reason why, there's actually kind of grinds my gears, a little Family Guy reference. It grinds my gears. Like a lot of these marketing companies that were out there that would go through, that would say like, here you go, guys, 30 days of content, and you're going to take over the mind share. But it was this worst content, because what happens is they would just say 3 things to do if you're selling your home. It's boring. People go to social media because they're lazy and bored, and you just bored them even more. You have to speak to people emotionally, and ChatGPT can do it if you first train it to speak to their emotions, goals, fears, motivations. That's just a start. What will happen if they don't get into their home? What's the internal dialogue of X target audience? I understand what the types of target audience are. What am I missing is the interface with OpenAI. Andrew, do you want to unmute and elaborate on that a little bit? Andrew Thomas.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I understand all the parameters that you're saying, but how do I actually use it with the website? That's my question. How do I get the action going to see the results of what this AI can do?
So when you're saying website, like, are you saying actually going to ChatGPT and use it?
Correct. I mean, I just don't understand the interface on how it's used
Okay.
to get to what you're saying.
Yep. All right, here we go. I'll just do a quick example here.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So writing this down, Nick Krem, somebody was trying to do that. Here we go. All right. So if for each ideal client that you create, you have to start a new chat. That's the first thing. Each ideal client is its own chat.
Okay.
So you create a new chat. So what are the goals of a luxury home seller? All right. So that's prompt 1. I'll show you guys, this will be a basic chain that you can write. What are the fears of a luxury home seller? Oh, whoops. We'll probably still read it. Right? And you see it's labeled over here.
Right.
What are the motivations? Luxury. And you go into it. Boom. What happens if a luxury home seller doesn't sell? And guys, here's what I'll say too. Look, I know some of you guys were like, I've been in real estate forever. I know my clients well. Go through and actually read these. Become a better agent to learn how to communicate with people better. You might read something like, oh shit, I never thought about it that way. Like, go through and read these. Become a better communicator by understanding their goals, fears, motivations. Now write me a 300-word Facebook post using the goals and motivations above. So now that I trained it to speak to the fears, goals, motivations of these things, right?
Right.
Now go in there and say, now write me a 300-word Facebook post using the goals and motivations above. And then you could just copy and paste that on Facebook with the picture that you had. And then I created my ICP for the luxury home seller. Ask it goals, fears, motivations. What will happen if they don't sell? And now anytime I want to write for a luxury home seller, I just go back to this chat. Now write me 5 engaging emails using the fears above. Just different. And there's so many different ways you can play with the prompts and things at that point. But now, since you know your ideal clients, you can start speaking to them a little bit better. And again, become a better communicator. Read through what it says about these ones. Does that make more sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Guys, this is your time. Questions that you guys have. Questions, comments. What else do you guys want me to touch on? Anything along those lines.
Do you help people get set up doing this? What type of service do you have that can benefit us?
Chris, I know you said we wanted to go straight value. I'll leave that up to you if you want to talk about what we do for people or what you want as well.
Yeah. So, usually we try to make these things that are not a pitch fest or anything. And Nick certainly didn't come on here to pitch you on his school or anything. But since he asked a question, if you want to talk a little bit about your certification program.
Yeah.
Nick.
Okay. Yeah. So we created the world's first AI certified agents. You spent an entire week with myself and my team. We set you up on the tools. We help you create unlimited content. We get you going. We actually teach you the AI listing advantage, how to go on a listing appointment, use AI to win more deals too. So you spend an entire week. We set you up on all the tools and get you everything that you need to get started. So I don't know, Chris, we'll figure that out. But yeah, you have a service where you provide that.
Nick's easy to find on Facebook. I'm easy to find. Reach out to either one of us and we'll get you connected. So you're going to learn more.
Well,
But I will give you a testimony is that Nick is awesome. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if anybody came on late, he consistently under promises, over delivers, and we've actually become good friends because he's always performed such a valuable service. He and his brother and his staff are always so readily available and help in any way possible. So love you.
The software itself you are missing. Yeah, no, appreciate it, Chris. No, we have fun and I always like to keep it interesting, but there's one thing that people are asking about the secret sauce. What I believe is, look, the first one to coin it in your marketplace, whether you actually here's the thing. The first one to coin it as the individual who is using it and get out in front of people more is going to start doing better and better. AI is not going anywhere. It's only getting more and more integrated into our life. And the person who gets out ahead of this, if you're looking to do agent attraction, getting out ahead of this, utilizing AI is going to be huge. What's up, Brian?
Nick, if I may, I just wanted to throw it out there that, AI, a lot of people have a lot of fear about this, and there's a lot of confusion as to what it actually can do. And what I tell some of the people that I mentor and everything about using AI is that it's like getting plugged into the matrix and learning kung fu like that. And whether or not you use that kung fu, right, it doesn't really matter, because it's not the knowledge that's the power, it's the execution of a perfectly honed strategy that's the power. And it's like, we've all at some point either wanted to create a musical masterpiece or paint a beautiful work of art without the skill. Now we have the skill, but it's all a matter of our creativity. And AI is just one of those things that it, coupled with human creativity, it can make you an absolute unstoppable machine.
Yeah, I think what you said, the Kung Fu reference, I love that. The reference we use too is is everyone's here familiar with the story of Paul Bunyan? He had the axe and then the other guy had the chainsaw and he's going through and he's racing him. At the end, Paul Bunyan had the heart, so he won. What AI is for good agents that want to execute is like giving Paul Bunyan a chainsaw. If you have the heart, the desire, and are willing to take action, it's like giving you a chainsaw and just running through it. I love the Matrix reference because I was picturing Neo as you were saying it too. When he learned it, he's just like, how am I doing this? It's just going. Can you briefly speak about using AI to recruit agents? So, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. The first way to do it, which everybody here can do, I'll get into that, Nancy. The first way to do it that everybody can do is what I just showed you guys about creating your target audience. Create a target audience for agents, a new agent who is looking to get more leads, an experienced agent who doesn't have ownership in their target your audience, goals, fears, motivations. What do they want? And create a target audience around each agent. So that way your content can then speak to them. You can create video content, you could create email content, and create things that can help speak to them. So Chris, this is what we're helping our agents do. So we created the AI certified agent program, and then we're giving people things to post. What that's going to do is it's going to solidify yourself as an expert. Other agents are going to be like, holy crap, what is this? It's the hottest topic in the world right now, guys. It's literally the hottest topic in the world. By positioning yourself as an expert of something, people, what do? If they want information, they're going to go to the person that is perceived as the expert.
Yeah, one thing I've done is I've trained agents locally on AI too, because now certified agents, and that gives you credibility to go to a local mastermind or do a training, invite other agents who want to learn about it. And hopefully that will help me become an agent that they want to work with more closely over time.
And here's what I'll say too, like, it's tough. Look, guys, it's been out for 5.5 months. I can't come to you and say, here is the exact system to use AI to recruit agents. If anybody is telling you that, I would call BS on them, because it hasn't been out long enough for someone to come out and say, here is exactly what it will do to recruit 1,000. No, like, it just came out 5.5 months ago and people are still. So right now here's what I can tell you what I believe it will happen. The people who get out ahead of it and coin themselves as the AI, whether they're a certified agent or not, through our program or not, that coin themselves as the person that has the knowledge for it, people will flock to them. Why? Because they want information and they are curious. If you guys have heard Gene Frederick or anybody say the gates open from the inside, when it comes to agent attraction, the gates open from the inside. What that means is when people get curious, they open the door and say, like, what's going on out there? What do they got? With AI, everybody's curious about it. It is the hottest topic in the world, and most people have no idea how to use it for their real estate business. If you can become the person that is using it just in a small way and then tell people, like, hey, guys, here's what I'm doing for AI. People are like, all right, tell me more about it. Half the battle is getting people curious. What's up, Ian?
Here, man, I want to share a hack that I'm using.
Let's go.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is a Google Chrome browser extension, and it's basically prompts already pre-built. So AIPRM is the extension that you can put in here. There's an article you want to outrank, keyword strategy. You can see here, fully SEO optimized articles. Let's see here, the one that I really like to get to. Look at this human-like writer, YouTube script. So what do we want to write a script about? Someone give me an idea. This is something that I use every day. I've been using this to use bullet points for my videos. But those of you that are curious, you may or may not be content creators or YouTube creators.
How about a script about the outlook for the mortgage market?
Right. Let's just say an article. Let's be more specific. About what specifically, Chris? How mortgage rates?
Yeah, where interest rates going to trend in the next couple of months
Are and so the thing that I've learned too is you've got to be very, very specific about what you're prompting. So this system is only limited to your knowledge and your creativity.
Right.
So the more specific that you can get, the better the outcome. And then, you can take this piece of content and then you can slice it up into 20 more pieces of content. So you can see here, let's see here. It's got wide shot of bustling city cars. What? Okay, so here's the video script.
Inserting all the video images or ideas for video that goes along with the
Yeah, remember this was a YouTube video script. I told an article, but I kind of lost my train of thought there. But this is actually creating the script that you can use. And I don't read stuff word for word. I'll read through the information, but whenever I shoot videos, I bullet point everything, and I'll use this as a tool to create bullet points, and then I'll ad lib through most of the content. But you can see here, hey, are you planning to buy a house in the near future? If so, then you need to pay close attention to the current trend in mortgage rates. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into how mortgage rates are trending in the current market and how it affects you as a home buyer. Cut to an expert sitting in a cozy room. This is like a full-on video production of scripting, but I just wanted to show you this. Let's go to a new chat here. So there's so many different ones. Oh man, this video, excuse me. There we go. The next one here. Social media manager, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, video script generator, 15-second short scripts. So this was a hack that I learned, and where did I learn it from? YouTube University. Spending time in YouTube. I call it Google YouTube University because I get questions all the time, and I just think to myself, like, you didn't think to go to Google or YouTube to ask that question? Like, I'm on my phone all the time. How to do this? How to do that? What's this? What's that? What's this? Tell me this. How does this work? Non-stop. And then I actually named my AI Chaz. So Chaz, this is my Chaz interface. Chaz is my professional ghostwriter. He doesn't get lazy. He never sleeps. He's always available. Let's just keep going down the list. So I use this pretty much every single week. I use this for video topics. I even use this in my personal Facebook posts to tell stories. Like I was in Grand Lake, Colorado, took my family up there this back in February, and we just love Grand Lake, and there's so much history there. And I went here and I said, hey, tell me about the rich history of Grand Lake, Colorado. Boom, there it was. So I posted some photos. I did like the first couple of sentences, and I copied and pasted the Grand Lake, and then I went and did some editing in there. You have to edit the content. You can't just copy paste it because there's some things that are some nuances. But I just wanted to show you this I call it the hack, but it's basically a Google plugin. So there's so many different things that I've been using this to write articles. Like I said, tons of YouTube titles. You want to spin YouTube topics. Another one that I love doing is, or love using, is answerthepublic.com. If you guys aren't using answerthepublic.com, you can start with answerthepublic.com, and then you can move over to, let's see here. So right here is where we'll start with moving to Dallas, Texas. And what this does is it's going to scrape Google and give you dozens and dozens of different keyword phrases that people are already typing into Google. And then from here, you can take these keyword phrases and then drop them into your AI, drop them into the prompt, and then create your content around it. So if you're targeting people that are moving to Dallas, Texas, here's what people are already typing in. What to know about moving to Dallas, Texas. Moving to Dallas, Texas, where should I live? So you can take all these different ones. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different keyword phrases here. The anchor keyword is Dallas, Texas. The long tail keyword is moving to, or the pros and cons. And then you can take this back into the chats. Oh, not that, ChatGPT, and then come over here, just type it in, see what pops up. So now you have some bullet points: job opportunities, cost of living, the weather. Texas summers are boiling, the winters are cold, the springs, a lot of rain. Culture, the diversity, the traffic, So this is a way that you can very, very quickly create content to target your audience. But man, Nick, keep talking. I'm gonna shut up.
No, you're good, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to share kind of what I've been using, or how I've leveraged it. But also, I don't see really many people using the browser plugin, and it's really powerful.
And I think that's where, guys, don't just use the copy and paste. Actually read through it. You're going to learn the pros and cons. You're going to learn more about your audience, more about your person that you're speaking to. It'll help you become a better communicator once you know the pros, cons. Here are the fears, goals, motivations. So don't just use it to replace everything in your life. Use it as a tool to be able to understand your clients more. And to me, you talk to any, like it's not always the best agent who wins. It's the best marketer. The best marketer will win. That's what we got. Guys, what are the questions we have? I have 4 more minutes here with you guys. 4 minutes rapid fire. What do you guys got for us?
Nick, I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
What I think this is going to happen at some point because, you know, a lot of people are really scared to get in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So I think at some point you'll be able to, and this is just me thinking out loud at this point, you know, like look into a camera and take like, you know, 100 different photos and then use a script generator and basically have videos done for you that look like you, sound like you, but you actually didn't do it, right? You had the video.
On Synthesia, you could already do that.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not that great. Like it's not that great yet, but
yeah,
you can get an avatar that looks like you, that sounds like you, and you could just put it in a script. So you can already do that. Yeah, no, it's pretty wild.
I was fixing to say Clay was showing us how he's already done that. So
yep. Yeah,
Hey,
guys, go ahead.
Question for you. What do you think is the next big evolution in AI that you could foresee coming? You know, it's like really cool all the stuff you can do today, but like what's on the horizon that you see?
I mean, just look at first of all, I truly y'all gonna think you're gonna know I'm crazy after I say this. I think Mark Zuckerberg is truly an alien. That's just my feedback. Look, this guy, I'll just say this one time and one time only. I watched him in a video say, "You humans do this." I'm like, I've never met another human that said "you humans," but that's just me. But he just came out like they showed what Meta's coming out with, and Meta's coming out with something. It does voice, script, video, all of these things where you can tell it that like, I want a tiger. Like, so there's a video, Billie Jean just came out with it. And it was a video where it's like, I want a tiger who's walking through a waterfall. And all of a sudden it gives you an AI generated. It looked literally real. You cannot even tell the difference of a tiger walking through a waterfall through the plains. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is literally everything is going to be able to be, you won't be able to tell that what a real video is or like what's real and what's not with AI. That, I mean, where I see it going is, so where I see it going in the real estate industry is like people who utilize AI and get on it now are going to be head over heels because it's just going to continue to learn, adopt, grow, and continue to change the way that everything is doing business. It's tough. I like to talk about it with my team every single day. We're walking out into a desert because we are in the unknown. Like we don't know where AI is going to go next. It's continuing to learn and evolve. We are just taking a step at a time. We brought the right supplies. We got the right team. Taking one step at a time into the desert with the right supplies. Other agents and other people are going to try and sprint and catch up. They're either going to have to turn around and go back because they didn't have everything that they needed, or they're going to try to die trying to keep up with us. So right now, we're just taking a step at a time, just going into the next AI and what's happening. What I would tell you guys is don't get left behind. Don't start taking your next step a year from now because you will be light years behind. AI is learning and educating and changing faster than this is not any technology anybody here has ever dealt with before in their life. This is not social media or the internet. It is different. It is way different. If you get like getting behind on this, it's just not, I can't emphasize how much you should not wait to jump on this because that train is moving with you or without you. So where I see it going is there's going to be the haves and the have-nots. The great replacement is already here. Will it be replacing a lot of jobs? Yes, but it'll also be creating a lot. Replacing. It's not getting rid. We're not talking about the great get rid of jobs. No, it's the great replacement. Run the risk of being replaced or make yourself, well, I'm not going to say irreplaceable, but make yourself more irreplaceable. Use it in your business, guys. What I see happening in the real estate industry are big teams who are unwilling to make the change are going to get fucking hit hard. All the overhead that they're doing, and now a solo agent can outmarket the biggest team. Dude, they're going to start losing business. And what do they do when they start losing business? Ramping up marketing, doing all these things. But if they aren't adapting to AI, they will be put out of business because a solo agent can now outmarket the biggest team. There's going to be a shift with this. The agents who adopt it and just get in front of people like crazy are going to start dominating because once you control the mind share, you control the market share. So that's how I see it changing the industry. Big teams will no longer be the biggest fishes. The people who adapt AI will be the biggest ones, the big behemoths, the people you can't outmarket. That's the way I see it going.
So, hey, Nick, my name's Clay Drake. Don't mean to jump in like this, but, I've been studying AI for a very long time. And one thing that where people are going to be left behind for sure is not just jumping in, but learning how to talk to it. So, becoming a prompt engineer is vastly more important than just figuring out how to launch it, right? So I would, if I were I'm telling Eric and all these other people, prompting is crazy important because everybody's going to have the tool.
Right.
But can you talk to
you? I can't agree with you more, Clay. You're right. You said a little bit more elegantly than me. Yes, like how you talk to it, because it's garbage in, garbage out. Just because everybody has the tool doesn't mean everybody can do the same capabilities with it. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And especially, guys, we're in real estate. How to use it for the right prompts to create the right ICP to then get you the right result for real estate. So there's that gap that's there. Whoever can fill that gap will be largely successful with it. I think it's a great point, Clay. Thanks for sharing that. Yep, there you go. There's that too. ICP, my bad, guys. Ideal client profile. ICP is ideal client profile. I know someone was like, insane clown policy. Why do you keep bringing that up? No. Ideal client profile is what I'm saying. My bad. All right, Chris, thank you so much for having me on here. Guys, I'm here to answer more questions. I do have an 11. I pushed it back a little bit, but if you guys do have more questions, I'll be here to help answer them. Or Chris, what would you like to do from here? Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess if obviously if Nick is on all the major social media platforms, if you want to contact him, he's very easy to find. You can always reach out to me. I can put you in touch with him as well, or give you any information if you just want to know third party perspective of what his courses are like and everything. I'll be happy to share one-on-one. So reach out to either of us.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's hop on the bandwagon. Let's do this thing. AI for the win. All right. We'll see you guys.
Hey, great call, Nick. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I think we all learned a lot.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you.
Okay, bye.